Good morning to everybody that has joined our room. My name is Michelle Hahn, and I am the Industry and Events Officer for the Center of Construction and Engineering. So it's a long, fancy word for I basically help create opportunities for our students to meet with future industry partners, because you're busy being students. And we totally get that. Your faculty see it firsthand, especially when you're becoming a trade student. It's a lot of dedication and it's a lot of hard work. So I'm going to stop babbling. What I'm going to do to keep this as organized as possible is that I am going to introduce each of the programs, and each of our prestigious faculty, I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves and just talk about really briefly about their programs, because we understand a common question that a lot of guests will have is, I love learning with my hands. Trade seems like the right fit for me, but I'm not sure what trade might be the best fit for me. So I can give my 2 cents, but that's not what we're here for. I have in the flesh your program leads who live and breathe these programs. So I'm just going to take it from the very, very top, which is our T176 is the construction techniques program. And that is a one-of-a-kind program in the province. That is your deluxe sample program with the trades. I'm going to let someone who is a lot more efficient in communicating take over. Angelo, Mike is over to you, my friend.
Hi, thanks. Good morning. Angelo Palance is here. Construction trade techniques. Yeah, like Michelle mentioned, it's a unique program. It's designed to expose students to 7 trades, giving them a solid entry-level background. The trades, we dabble in refrigeration, sheet metal, carpentry, millwright and design, electrical, plumbing, welding, and steam fitting. The students are trained both in practical and theoretical classrooms. These days, I know practical is a little different, but we've managed to shrink the classrooms. We've managed to have less people in the class. Our students are 9 and 10 people in a class. Our labs are large, so there's a lot of space in there, and we're actually making it work. Theoretically, right now, we're teaching virtual, and again, there's a lot of positive feedback there as well. Our objective here is to prepare the students with enough hands-on skills to enter the world of construction and a trade of their choice. Now there's 7 trades here, well, 7 plus, because we do have a steam fitting component as well that goes hand in hand with the welding. There's a lot of choice here. There's a lot of knowledge to be had. It's shaped to direct a student, help them find their passion, help them find their place. And it's been around now for about 12 years, and we've had a lot of success. A lot of our students are out as professionals. We have students that have opened up their own companies, students that are working with unions. So we have a lot of alumni out there representing our college and working within the trades. We also have an 8-month program, a 2-semester program called Plumbing Techniques. So this is for a student that's decided that they want to get into the plumbing trade. They've already fixed their mind there. They have, that's where they want to go. This is a great entry-level program. The first semester is getting acquainted with the definitions, a few of the entry level. I'm using entry level because that's what the first semester is, entry level exposure. And then it segues into the second semester, which is Apprenticeship 1. It's exactly the same curriculum as year 1 of plumbing apprenticeship, which gives the student that advantage when they're entering the actual trade. So in a nutshell, we prepare the student, we give the student enough skill to be able to go out and be attractive to the employer. We give them enough skill to be able to say to the employer, this is what I can do. And then the employer challenges them, and it's up to the student to show his stuff. And usually we're represented very well. If you have any questions, feel free, you can always email me. So it's apalance@georgebrown.ca. Can you see that, Michelle? Can you guys see that okay?
I'm going to type it in the chat for everybody. I think it's a little bit easier. So I'll go ahead and just type that in the chat. If that's okay?
Yeah, I appreciate that. All right, so if you have any questions, feel free, fire me off an email, and we get acquainted, or you could hang out. We could talk in one of the chat rooms, and enjoy your day. All right, bye for now.
You're awesome as per usual, Angelo. Thank you so much. We're going to just keep on moving right along to welding. That's T166. And we are absolutely privileged and honored to have Dr. Tom Tomasi and extraordinaire Robert Slaney. So after you guys, please. Oh, Tom, I cannot hear you. Can everyone else not hear Tom?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you, Michelle. I'm going to be brief because I'm going to give Rob an opportunity to speak about the actual practicality of the course. This is a relatively new program. It's only been in place for a couple of years. It's incredibly successful. All of our people are basically employed at the end of the program, which comprises of 2 semesters. It is a relatively intense program in light of the fact that during those 2 semesters, we basically teach our students, and our students will learn the 4 most common welding processes. And the beauty of this particular program, we do have a state-of-the-art lab where the students can actually do their work in the same station. In light of the fact that there is 2 welding machines that can switch from one to the other to address all of the needs of their learning and, of course, of the program as well. It is, as I mentioned before, it is an intense program, so it requires participation in order to be successful. So in coming into this program, you need to be dedicated for those 2 semesters to do the work that needs to be done. And at the end of that, there is an option for students to take a test with the Canadian Welding Bureau, which is a certification bureau that gives you a welding ticket, which helps tremendously with respect to try to gain employment once you finish with the program. So I'm going to turn this over to Robert to talk a little bit more about the practical aspect of things. So Robert?
Thank you, Tom. Good morning, everybody. Robert Slaney here, faculty member at the George Brown College. Yes, what Tom is saying is it is an extraordinary program. It's just for the aspect of every student has every opportunity to do multiple processes all the time at their workstations. Everybody is busy. We are going with the program with the fabrication aspect, learning stick welding, learning MIG welding, learning TIG welding, flux core welding. Every process that's actually available right now that people are doing outside the school, job sites, manufacturing, automotive, it's all there. All employers are looking for this opportunity for students to learn these processes, and they're looking for that skill. They're looking for that trades in people, learning how to not just weld, but learning how welding actually affects the metal, learning how to join pieces to metal properly, and feeling confident about it. And that's what I try to strive for, and make sure that our students feel confident of what they're doing. We have a lot of practical time, hours put into this program. where hands-on is always hands-on. Of course, we have to do our theory aspect, but our focus is the practical aspect of the program, keeping everybody busy, making sure that everybody's doing their job correctly, doing the process correctly, and we do have the skill, we do have the actual aspect of the material, of the welding, of the actual machinery to produce that skill. And that's what we're looking for. Michelle?
I always feel humbled and reminded of how specialized our programs are. So, Dr. Tom and Rob, always a pleasure to have you on, and thank you. I appreciate you both. We're going to move right along to T167 Electrical Techniques. Patrick Rooney in the house.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Michelle. I'd like to introduce myself. I am the lead instructor, and academic coordinator for the Electrical Techniques program. It is, again, a very intensive course, like you've seen the offering of the welding and plumbing. We're focused strictly on the electrical sector and the entire electrical sector, which it does include electrical apprenticeship as one of the segues from this program. What is unique maybe about this program versus other possible similar programs is that we carry it through to the end. You're exposed to your entire apprenticeship training, and what that pays is if you come back as an apprentice, you are well versed on the entire in-school program of the apprenticeship for the most part. It also has big benefits in terms of having some foresight and knowledge of the environment. If you are in an apprenticeship, you are cognitive of your scope of work versus being oblivious as you try to struggle and learn the diversity of the electrical trade. So there's a lot of moving parts in the electrical techniques. It covers basically soup to nuts, if I could put it in a better term, of the entire electrical trade. And again, other segues, which include engineering position, possibly product support, manufacturing. There are so many segues. Electric vehicles. I've had students break off into so many different pathways other than just apprenticeship. But it is, again, probably the most reason that most people are interested in this course is that. And we encourage that, but also because of the diversity of the industry with so many other opportunities, we don't put the blinders on and just limit to that focus. So it is a well developed program. We use all the equipment that is used in the electrical apprenticeship training throughout all levels, again, which is unique to the electrical techniques program in that sense. We also, again, have probably the largest asset of electrical training equipment available to the students. Each student will be doing their own project, again, which is because of the cost of equipment is very unique to our college in many aspects. So I encourage everybody, if you are any field in the electrical industry, including apprenticeship pathways, that is the mechanism that the T167 Electrical Techniques program does. It gives you that ability to aggressively pursue apprenticeships. Yes, and also try to break into other segues that may present itself based on the electrical experience you gain in the T167 program. Again, if you need more details about it, we are going to be doing breakout rooms, and I can give you a better tour of the equipment, a walkthrough of the shops in that room. And that's where, again, you can ask me more detailed questions as we get into those breakout rooms. But I look forward to seeing anybody, and I'm open to questions in the breakout room. I'll hopefully see quite a few of you there. Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you as always. We're just going to keep moving along. I have HVAC. So that is our 2-year diploma T160 and our 3-year advanced diploma T162. As always, I am always blessed to have our 2 coordinators, Jim Grievous and Steve Racy. Gentlemen, the mic is yours.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the open house here at George Brown. My name is Jim Grievous, and the coordinator for the T160, which is the 2-year program. And alongside me here, Steve is the coordinator for the T162 heating, ventilation, air conditioning technology program, the 3-year program. So I'm just going to go through a couple of kind of an overview of our program and what the main aspects of it are. So the T160, which is the HVAC or heating, ventilation, air conditioning technician program, is a 4-semester program. So it spans 2 years. And the focus of it is the equipment and HVAC equipment, learning about the operation of HVAC equipment as it applies to residential and light commercial buildings. We have a lot of shop time associated with our program, and we have extensive amount of shop space, with furnaces, air conditioning units, boilers, water heaters. All sorts of HVAC equipment as they apply to residential and commercial buildings. And our students will spend, a lot of time, oftentimes one person or one student per piece of equipment, or sometimes two students in partners on a piece of equipment. Mind you, nowadays that doesn't apply. But we have a lot of shop time. And what the students will learn is how to service, how to operate, how to install this heating and refrigeration and air conditioning equipment. And the other focus of it is also the design of HVAC systems for buildings. So one part of the 2-year program is the operation and repair of equipment. But the other side of it is the design of HVAC systems. So we have courses, we offer courses in HVAC heat loss, heat gain, or heat loss, heat gain calculations, and also duct design calculations, with the option to become certified in the province of Ontario to perform these calculations through HRAI. So some of our students or whichever student wants to follow that route can go towards becoming certified in Ontario to design HVAC systems for residential buildings. The other part of our program is the gas licensing. So we're certified to offer training for the G3 and G2 licensing to become licensed gas technicians in the province of Ontario. And we do that across the 4 semesters. So semester 1, we offer gas technician training 3. And at the end of it, if students are eligible, they can actually challenge a gas licensing exam, and if successful, become certified to work on gas-fired equipment as a G3 licensed holder. And then the G3, again, is like an introductory license, almost like a learner's driver's permit, where you need someone alongside you to actually perform the work. But then in the semester 2, 3, and 4, we provide the training for your gas technician 2 license, which is your license that allows you to work up to 400,000 BTU of input on equipment of up to that size. And so many of our students are successful in completing their gas training, and many do become licensed at the end of the 2-year program. Now, the 3-year program, the T162 technology program, follows the other path where it talks more about, leads you more into the design of commercial and industrial HVAC systems. I don't know if Steve, maybe you want to add a few words on that, and of course we can answer any or all questions after in the breakout rooms afterwards.
Okay, the T160 program covers 4 semesters, as Jim mentioned, and that is, in my opinion, for people who want to get hands-on in the trade and want to be repairing, installing, servicing equipment. When you get into the 3-year program, which is a T162 program, the final year goes deeply into design. So what happens is there's not a lot of lab time on the 3-year program. However, what you're going to learn is going to put you a step above other technicians and give you the ability to have more doors open when you graduate. Some of the students that come out of the 3-year program will move strictly into design for HVAC design, doing heat gain, heat loss duct design. Other ones will move into building automation systems. Some of them will work with suppliers or wholesalers doing sales and doing design for their customer base. So it's a great area to get into if you enjoy the hands-on, but you maybe want to try to do the design work and have a little more knowledge behind you. It also is a great assistance if you're doing your own business. If you want to eventually go on that path, it gives you the ability to look at systems that have been designed by others, analyze them, and see if they're performing how they should perform. And without that basic background, you sometimes have problems further in. So I'll leave it at that for the moment. Jim, did you have more to say?
No, I think that kind of summarizes it. And of course, like I mentioned earlier, we can answer any other questions in the chat rooms or in the breakout rooms afterwards. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Jim and Steve, as always, I thank you. And on behalf of all of the heating in my house, I also thank you. all of our trades are essential. So thank you. Thank you. Now we have the building renovation 3-year and the 2-year carpentry. Jules in the house. The mic is all yours, please.
All right. Hello, folks. Thanks for taking some time out of your Saturday here to join us. My name is Jules. I am faculty and program coordinator in our T180 and our T148 programs. So that is carpentry and renovation technician and building renovation technology. So essentially, these are residential construction programs. We learn building techniques for building houses or renovating houses, essentially. So like some of the other programs you heard about, we have a 2-year and a 3-year version of the program. And in the 2-year program and in the first 2 years of the 3-year program, that's where you get sort of all your hands-on stuff. So it's really, really shop heavy as far as your curriculum goes. About roughly half the class hours you put in will be spent in a lab physically building and learning the techniques and using the tools. And then the other 50% of the time, you'll be learning the theory and knowledge behind the building processes that you need. Things like plan interpretation and trade calculations and communications, things like that. The 3rd year of the program for students who choose the 3-year program is much more business and management focused. So essentially you learn all your kind of building skills in the first 2 years of the program. And then for students who are more interested in either eventually going on to start their own businesses or to work more as a construction manager or in a supervisory position, more of the back end of the business, you learn that in your 3rd year. So you'll do things like business management, project management, contracts, and you'll dive down more into certifications that are required and building science. So that's kind of the overview of the programs. They're both post-secondary programs, which means you apply to them as you would any other college program. That they're not apprenticeship based. And so anyone who applies right out of high school would be eligible for these programs. We're very carpentry focused as far as the actual work you'll be doing in the shops. A lot of carpentry. So if you're interested in swinging a hammer, this might be the program for you. We also focus our shop projects and our curriculum in sort of various areas of the trade. So it's not all just rough carpentry. We also do things like we focus on the other building techniques that you're likely to come in contact with if you're working in a residential situation. So we do a lot of drywall finishing. We do courses that give you an overview of other trades, an overview of HVAC and plumbing and electrical, so that when you're working with those other contractors on a job, you actually have a bit of an understanding of their systems as well. We do large scale projects where you're building full size framing projects. And then we do smaller scale projects where you're working on finer woodworking, things like stair building and cabinet making. So it's a really wide swath of the construction industry, and it allows our students to really focus on which aspect of the renovation industry they like best, and focus in that direction. And I think I'm going to stop there. Any specifics we can talk about in our breakout rooms.
Jules, thank you. If anybody gave me hopes of even holding a hammer properly, it was thanks to your program. So thank you for that for sure. And Tom Hunt, are you here?
I am.
Hello,
Morning,
Tom.
everyone.
Yes, so Tom wears multiple hats, but the hat that I see him in most often is Millwright. So Millwright, what is that? Tom, please,
So
what is that?
The curriculum for the two Millwrights. So there's construction Millwright and there's industrial Millwright. The curriculum is very similar for the first two intakes, and then they kind of branch off in year 3 or level 3. So a construction millwright would work on a millwright or on a construction site, or do heavy equipment setup. They would typically travel from job site to job site. And they would be most specific. They would involve hoisting and rigging, major machinery moving, and a lot of, they get into some optical setups as well. Whereas the industrial millwright would typically work in, a good example would be like an automotive plant, where they would work at like Honda, let's say, and they would be involved with the day-to-day operations. So they would be doing all the machines, setting up machines. They can get into PLC. They can specialize in hydraulics, pneumatics. So a little bit different between the two of them. One is unionized and one would be working for the company if they had a union or not. Construction Millwright Union is very supportive of their members, offer amazing incentives, travel allowances, a great pension. And yeah, it's kind of hard to go into great detail with regards to both of them. My background is a Red Seal industrial millwright. So, and I can tell you why I chose that trade. I have a background in tool and die, precision machining, which I got a diploma from George Brown College some years ago. And because of everything moving overseas at that time, it seemed to be the trend. I decided to go into industrial millwright, just specifically because of the fact that I could work in that industry or in that trade, and I could essentially have 20, 30 different almost careers, because it is so, it's such a broad range of skill sets, and you can specialize in so many different aspects of that trade. So yeah, no, our facilities at George Brown College are, I like to think they reflect industry standard. We have up-to-date equipment. We have laser alignment trainers. We have a machine shop that's fully capable of machining almost everything that you could want to do. Students have access to metal lathes, milling machines, surface grinders, not to mention our cutting-edge hydraulic trainers, pneumatic boards that we have, and the students will come in and they'll learn all the skills. So even in one of our shops, we have the Millwright T176 program, so the Millwright portion. So they would essentially do what the level 1 Millwrights do to a certain degree. So Yeah. It's a great program. Again, typically with the millwrights, you would have an apprenticeship first, and then you would apply to go to school, and then you would take. We don't offer a day release program, but we do offer an 8-week block. So you would come in for 8 weeks and you would do your curriculum. Again, a lot of people have mentioned the class sizes. So we do run a class size of 10 students, but our labs are big. Like our millwright shop has to be, upwards of 1,500 square feet. So there's lots of social distancing. Most of the curriculum they would cover over 5 weeks prior to coming in, and then they would do. Right now, we're running a 3-week practical. So they would come in and they would have their practical in shop, typically for a full day, maybe 2 days a week, and they would learn all the skills and reinforce everything that they learned in theory with their instructor online. So.
Okay, amazing. Thank you, Tom. I couldn't ask for a bigger bang to end off the program presentation, but there is only one person that could trump that, would be our dean. Dr. Adele is in our room this morning. I can genuinely share with all of our guests, we could not ask for a more passionate and a more dedicated dean to really work alongside with us to ensure, students are really achieving industry realistic, but a supportive environment as possible. So I am now going to officially just welcome Dr. Adele Essayed to the room. If everybody wants to just say hello in the chats to our beloved dean, and that will officially conclude our program presentations.